Welcome to Shade and the City. I'm your girl Treese. And as you know, Nels has started her Virgo season early. So she is out for the Labor Day holiday. But yeah, y'all. So I'm here to give y'all the recap of the foolishness that is the love that happens after the lockup. Season 5, episode 36, Ready or Not. Okay. And so yeah, y'all, since Nels isn't here, y'all make sure y'all drop down in those comments. Let me know really what y'all think about this episode and the foolishness that transpired, especially the foolishness that is Shonta and True. Shout out to Danielle All Natural for always being in the comments. We appreciate the love and support as always. And y'all, let's jump right into it and let's get shady. All right, y'all, welcome back. Oh, if you haven't already, please make sure y'all hit that like button and you've hit the subscribe button. But I also got to give a big shout out to LaDonna Sutton, Cintley Rodriguez. She's been A1 day one from like when we first started the channel. So we always appreciate seeing her in the comments and showing us some love. And Locked Queen as well. So yeah, y'all, just want to make sure I covered everybody and give special thanks and shout outs for, y'all always showing up and letting me know we just not out here talking to ourselves, right? All right, so let's get into the mess that is Shonta and True, right? Starts off with a bang, okay? Shonta is crying in the back of, I'm gonna say, a Honda Civic. It's not the Bentley, okay? It's not the Maybach. It's not giving crying for a good reason, okay? Now she's upset, obviously, because last we saw True basically said, I don't want you. I don't want you. I don't want you no more. All right. He called his sister and basically told her pull up. You know what I mean? She upset. She left. I don't know where she went. She got in the car. She dipped. And then he starts walking down the street and he sees Shonta in the car, all hysterical, crying. So he gets in the car, y'all. Gets in the car. Now, clearly this is televised. There's a production team because you couldn't have told me that I wouldn't have put hands on this man. You get in my vehicle and I ain't asked you to be here. All right. And so, basically he tells her, we can't be friends. And she's like, I don't want to be that's not what I want to do. Okay. So, he said he ain't got no other females that he's talking to. And he was loyal to her. And so she's just done with it. She gets out the car all upset and is like, what do you want from me? And so, finally he gets out and she drives off. And then, 14 weeks later, we see Shonta and, she said it's been 14 weeks. Mind you, she referenced 14 weeks since her and True broke up. Okay. Now she's got another job. She's moved into a cheaper home. So good for her. Then she's going to see, her niece and her daughter at the baby store because her daughter is 20 weeks pregnant. Now, here's where I was really irritated, and I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments, y'all. But what really irritated me about this is that, one, she hasn't talked to True since they split. She rolls into this baby store and she's like playing around with the little, baby bag or whatever. And she's like, oh, this will be a good, like Gigi Mimi bag or whatever. And then she's like, oh, no, it'll be a good mommy bag because guess what? I'm pregnant, 14 weeks pregnant. And then pulls out, I ain't gonna say it's Photoshop. I ain't gonna say she got it off the internet. Y'all drop y'all thoughts in the comments of what you think. But she pulls out this sonogram and she shows her daughter and her friend that she got twins at that. She said, it's me and my twin in them. Thems. Okay. Now, what irritated me the most about this is, first of all, I thought it was in poor taste for you to, one, you're supposed to be there to support your daughter who is 20 weeks pregnant and you decide to bring up your pregnancy. I don't know. It just felt real tacky to me. Like, I don't like it felt like you were fighting your daughter for attention, and that wasn't, this was supposed to be her moment. And I understand some of y'all might say, well, it wasn't that serious, it's not like it was a baby shower, but I don't know, I felt that, and I was like, ew, that's not cute. Like, and not even that, especially not before you've told the man that impregnated you. So obviously they're like, okay, have you told True? And they're like, are you ready to be a single parent? Because y'all, he ain't SHI. And she's like, yeah, and I don't know if I want to tell him, because I don't know if I want him to be involved. And so they just like, all right, girl, if she says she wants a big family, she's from a big family. So I said, okay, girl, you like it, I love it. All right. And yeah, so then she decides she's gonna call True and break the news, and basically she starts off catching up on life, and and what you been up to. And apparently True got kicked out of his mama's house, his sister's house. They fell out because he says over the girl Tisha, because he didn't want her. So obviously we know there's more to that story, which I'd like to get, but anyway. And so basically he's like, when he hears the news, he's like, oh, well, this is, obviously not good timing. He's apparently living or roommating, but production asked him if he's smashing a roommate, and he pled the fifth. But he's apparently living with some woman right now. But he says he gonna go up to wherever Shantae is, I guess Independence or whatever, and they need to talk, even though she tells him not to come. Oh no, True, don't come. I don't want you to come. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. Don't nobody believe you, not even yourself. And so that's pretty much Shantae True, y'all. I just, you can't make this. You can't. It's awful. So now let's get on to Z and Troy. All right. Now, basically, Z is telling Troy that we know that his mother was in the church, in her parents' church, and she was having some type of like situation off them edibles, right? And so basically she's like, I think your mom's having a breakdown, and she's hot. Can you like get on her? So Troy thinks that basically she's just going through a plethora of emotions because the daddy is just preaching about basically people being in the street and running the street, and then changing their life or whatever is basically what the sermon was about. And I don't know why, but I guess maybe it touched her spirit, but I think he was kind of speaking more to Troy. However, her spirit was touched by it. I guess she was overwhelmed. And yeah, so she even told Z that she loved her and that's her new family. And Z is hopeful that she can have a good relationship with her mother-in-law, but she basically says that right at this moment she feels more like a child. And I'm about to get on you too, Z. You another one. I don't know why you got your son so involved in this. Like out here talking to them. Okay, we'll get into that. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. So basically, the mama tells Troy, go get back in your seat. Go sit next to your wife. Stop being over here checking on me. I'm good. So then basically his mama starts to just get tired. Okay. She feels like the sermon is dragging, and she excuses herself from the situation and basically says she'll see them later. Now, you would have thought the way that she excused herself, she called the Uber or something, or somebody was coming to get her. I mean, because ain't no way you decide to leave and I'm your ride and I'm still here. I didn't understand how that was supposed to work out. But and so she just outside time, I'm leaving. She's had enough. She's high as a kite. All right. And so Troy follows her outside, and she admits then that she took 3 gummies. Okay. And this is why I tell y'all, edibles are not your friend, at least not mine. I know I've had some bad, you never know when they're gonna hit. I need to know when mine's coming. Okay. And how I'm gonna get. All right. So she tells her son, I believe it was Azrael, or I ain't even go A. Okay. She tells her son basically that he needs to go check on check on the mama. And I was like, well, why? Why would he do that? And so Troy's like, nah, go back inside. And so, Z, and basically Z is like, well, thank you for, going to do that. And his mother basically tells Troy that, me being here is triggering me and it makes me want to drink. And so it was just a hot mess. The son then basically comes out again to talk to her, and basically says that, you know, it's nothing against your grandparents, but not today, and tells him to go make something up. But she doesn't care about meeting them. And it was just awful. So eventually the church service ends. They all come outside as a family. Her mother comes out, and then, you know, Karen, Troy's mama, is outside accusing them of exposing her. And, you know, I hats off to Z's parents. They, you know, took it in stride. And, you know, even her father's like, I understand, you know, she might have been moved or touched by the spirit in the sermon. So, you know, she may need a little space. Like I said, clearly to put up with Z and her foolishness, they got to be some patient people. Okay. So then anyway, they plan to head to Buffalo in the morning. And, you know, Troy basically isn't with this whole idea of Z's parents thinking that he's about to be Pastor Troy. And, you know, that he needs time to integrate back into normal and regular life. And I absolutely agree. But yeah, Karen was, I mean, it was disrespectful as hell, but Miss Karen is a key. Okay. I love Miss Karen. We need to keep Miss Karen on the show. She's very entertaining. I hope we see her in Life After Lockup, which I don't know when it's coming out, but it's supposed to be coming out soon, y'all. So, you know, you'll see us again. You'll see us again. All right. Now, Kim and Joey. If stupid was a person. All right. So Joey returns to the house and you know, don't even want to tell Kim where he been. Okay. But obviously we know that she knows because she got the air tags, but she's upset because she's like, why would you make me want to wonder when you could just tell me? And I'm kind of with Kim, but whatever. And so, you know, basically Joey's mother and his people's, his cousin, I believe it was, or his niece, Savannah, come over, you know, for Christmas dinner. And, you know, basically Joey's niece, it was Joey's niece, basically talks about how she's traumatized. They grew up very close, but then I guess as Joey's addiction got real bad, at some point, I guess he borrowed $20 or $40 from her that she really did not have to give him. And he used it. He said it was for a train ticket, and he actually used it to go get high. Okay. So she was really hurt by that. And she's just hopeful that he's going to change his life. He has a family now, and he's just going to be a different person. And, you know, Joey reassures her that, you know, that is what's going to happen. And so then basically Kim is prepping him like, okay, you know, my daddy's coming, right? And you know, he don't really see it for you too much. So, you know, I think you need to be taking this very seriously. He's going to want to talk to you. And Joe is just like, nah, it's good. So of course, when daddy rolls in, the first thing that he does, he wants to, you know, open presents. And obviously he presents and proposes to Kim with a new ring, because obviously we know he had proposed to her in prison with not the best ring, but she said she was happy either way. Okay. She was just happy to have her Joey, because we know she's been a pick me for years. We learned that Joey has spent $3,700 on this ring. Now Kim is unclear, and so is his mama, about where he got this money from. But nonetheless, everybody seems to be happy except Kim's daddy. So Kim's daddy pulls him outside, and he wants to address him about this bike. All right. Now, you know, the infamous bike that went missing 20 years ago that he feels Joey and his cousin stole or something like that. And apparently, you know, he's like, I just really want to know, Joey, did you do it? He's like, nah, man, he's still, you know, he's sticking to his story, and I ain't gonna hold him. If I'm out here trying to marry your daughter and I've been telling this same lie for 20 years, why would I tell you the truth now? Either way, you've clearly accepted me. But, you know, Joey's like, thank you. I appreciate your forgiving heart. All right. And he's like, you know, I promise I'm gonna take care of your daughter. He's like, you know, I want you to step up. I want you, you know, I don't want you to go back into that lifestyle. But then he turns around and tells production that he gives Joey all of 3 months before he's back on drugs, y'all. And I said, well, we'll see if father knows best or not. I don't know. Y'all drop down in the comments. Let me know what you think. I'm just going to sit here and sip my coffee. All right. And then let's move on to this. Are we 15 minutes in yet? Because this one is bat crazy. Okay. Bianca and Daniel. I got to fix her photo, but yeah, these two. So Bianca is, you know, packing up, getting ready to leave. We see her with her friend Haley. And she's telling her about the conversation that she had with his mama and stepdaddy and how he was asking about her mental health, which I think was a very legitimate question. And so, she says she was a little offended by it, and Daniel's on the phone, and so she's telling him, and he's like, "Well, that's a little strange. I got to talk to them about that. I wonder why they would do that. That's rubbing me the wrong way." So, then Haley says that basically she's concerned with Bianca leaving the next day and wants to make sure he's going to take care of Bianca, and of course he gonna pacify Haley and say the things that she wants to hear, but at the end of the day, she's stupid. She gonna do what she want to do. She's not wrapped too tight, y'all. And really, we'll get into it, but she has so much trauma, real talk. She really need to be seeking a therapist instead of letting this man counsel her, because it is just not, it's not working. Okay. So basically Haley lets him know that she doesn't really trust him, and believes that Bianca is going to end up park brokering and have to move back home and start from scratch. Haley tells her that she's being a bit delusional, which I think that we all can agree, and that she gets defensive, and basically that shows that she hasn't thought everything through. So Bianca thinks Haley is just being dramatic, and she's a little jealous because she's stuck in their small town, and Bianca's moving on and letting some man allow her to spend all her settlement money. But Haley's the one that's jealous. Okay, girl. So anyway, then she tells Haley how she's so serious about Daniel, and this is the rest of her life, and she even went as far as to send him marriage papers in jail. But guess what? Daniel decided not to sign them, which I was like, oh, that's strange. But he told her he wasn't ready, and she was like, and that was probably better because he just didn't want to get married in jail. Girl, all these prisoners, clearly you don't watch the show. At that point, he could have legally spent your money. So he must not really want to do it. Okay. Because we've seen more than enough times that they real quick to get buried in jail, but I digress. Okay. And so, basically Bianca is preparing for her video visit with Daniel. She feels like her conversation with Haley kind of brought up some concerns for her. And so she just wants to be reassured before moving. She brings up that she feels like he's been acting differently, and he admits that he may be a little bit anxious because he only has 29 days till he gets out, and he's just worried about going back and getting acclimated into the real world, not having to be on a schedule, somebody tell him when to wake up, when to go to sleep, and all that other stuff. And so then of course she brings up how, oh, you're my biggest support system and I want to be that for you. And then she brings up how she still wants to have a drink every now and again. And I said, this, first of all, I'm not trying to be judgy by any means, but I'm so confused with your obsession is what it's seeming like. I'm not going to call it an addiction, but I'm a little confused by your obsession with alcohol, especially after what happened to you. Now, granted, you say you weren't the person behind the wheel and, fine, whatever. However, being that it was so tragic, and because that was because of how you ended up that way, I just find it to be confusion a little bit that you're so, oh, I got it. And then you go and seek out someone who actually has aggravated DUI and fall in love with them, develop some type of connection with them. And yet now you want to re-trigger this man because I don't know, y'all. Y'all drop down in the comments. Is it me? Am I? Because it's really giving delusional, and in need of therapy. So I don't know. That's just my thoughts. But anyway, so he admits that her drinking basically would trigger him. She is concerned about the alcohol issue and says that, she feels like he's being controlling, and she's 23 and she may want to get drunk every now and again. And he talks about how he does believe that he's going to get a job before he gets out, and he's supposed to be going to, I guess, the jail career fair and whatnot. And so Bianca does admit that she thinks that it's strange that he's willing to let her spend all her money. Yeah. And basically says that he has a month to get on his feet after he gets out, or she's out, which we all know is bull. Okay. So Bianca's packing up to leave, and she talks about missing her friends, but says, that it's time for her to get away. She says before she met Daniel, she tells us about this ex-boyfriend that I guess maybe when she was 20, 21, she's only 23. You know what I'm saying? But this ex-boyfriend, she got pregnant by him. Unfortunately, she lost the baby at about 15 weeks. So I feel bad for her in that, right? Absolutely. That's definitely trauma, but this is why you need to probably be in somebody's therapy. And so she knows that she might be running away from her trauma, but says that, there's nothing left for her in Florida. And so she knows that, basically if she would have had that child, that she would have been stuck in a relationship with a toxic partner, and thinks that, it was the universe intervening. I'm glad that you could find some silver lining in your tragedy. She also thinks that she wouldn't have found Daniel. That's where, no, that's your stupidity. They ain't got nothing to do. That's you. And then it sounds like, so from the timeline of events, and this is why I say you probably need intensive therapy. It sounds like you had the loss of a pregnancy, breakup, loss of a pregnancy, whichever one came first. Then you had a terrible accident that could have taken your life. You recover from that, and then, or are recovering from that, and then it sounds like you met Daniel. You ain't taking no time to yourself, girl. None at all. And it shows. So yeah, no, and she's hopeful that she can start a family with Daniel. And I need her to get herself together first, because it's giving real delusional and that crazy. Just my thoughts, but y'all, drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about Miss Bianca. Woo! Now, Julian and Christine. Julian, the fact that you are hiding Christine from your family, basically, I wonder how they feel now that you done got in trouble and arrested behind Christine. That'll be interesting. Anyway, so Christine and Julian are packing up to leave West Virginia. She feels a way about being away from her son. As they leave, she wants to show him the first bank that she robbed. And then she basically acts out the whole process for him that she went through when she robbed the bank. And I was kind of like, are we giving lessons right now? It's a little confusing. Okay. Julian has a hard time believing that Christine could have committed these crimes. She only got $2,000 from this robbery. And then as they're sitting out in the parking lot, they see a police car, and she, begins to feel triggered. Which again, I don't know why we're back at the scene of the crime, but okay, girl. Both her and Julian talk about how easy it is to violate parole. And so she can't have any interaction with police. So that's why it really scared the mess out of her, because I guess, well, no, last time you got out, you robbed a bank. So that's not why you ran into a police officer and you went back to jail. No, you robbed a bank. So I don't know, but I do know it's easy to violate parole. So I'll agree with him on that. So basically, Julian brings her back to his townhouse in Annapolis, which is, like I told y'all, it's not a cheap area, and it didn't look cheap. Okay. And she said that it's better than anything she's ever lived in, because we learned that she's from, what did Nene say? The ghetto. Okay. She says she's, relieved to be in her new home. He shows her the rest of the house and, his kids' rooms. So she wants to know when they can meet. And Julian says that can't happen until she meets his ex-wife. So he says that he hasn't shared with anyone about Christine, and says it's a complicated situation. And so basically he tells her she's going to have to stay upstairs while the kids are there, and basically hide out and act like she's not there. And I said, who does that? Like, even, okay, I guess, one, if you're expecting her to be in your life, I would think that you would want to introduce her to your children. But I understand boundaries, co-parenting. I can understand the mother wanting to meet her. However, I think I would have at least tried to pass her off and say she was renting a room and then you guys fell in love or something, right? Before the show comes out, and then they know the truth, and then you get arrested at Walmart because y'all was stealing. But I don't know. And poor Christine, I guess because she has nowhere else to go, this is where she's paroling. This is the address she used. Because I don't know if I could have, I'm not about to be nobody's prisoner upstairs. Can't come downstairs. You had treated me like I got the vid, bringing meals to my door, and I can't come out. No, 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 no. We're not doing that. But I guess, you know, you got to work with what you got. She ain't got no other options, which is sad. And then I don't know why, but we see them go into his, you know, the primary bedroom, and I don't understand why Julian looks like he got a full size bed in that room, because it looked really small. And both it looked really small. Either it was really small or they really big. All I'm gonna say is it didn't look like it fit. Okay, they fit in it, or both of them fit together comfortably. That's just my observation. All right. So yeah, Christine says that, and then he starts bringing up how, like, you know, yeah, you know, you got this restitution, you got child support, so when you think about getting a job. And I was like, well, damn, Julian, no wonder she at the Walmart stealing, because you get putting the pressure on her. But you know, Christine is like, well, I plan to go back to work soon, but it wasn't at the forefront of my mind right now, day 2 after I just got out. No, that wasn't in my game plan. And so now she's concerned, because she was like, so now you hide me from your kids. You told me it was going to be okay, but now you need me to get a job right away. And so she's just confused. And y'all, this is the foolishness that is the love after lockup. Okay. So yeah, that was this episode. If you haven't already, Shade Squad and new viewers, please make sure that you've hit the like button, make sure that you've commented, and make sure you subscribe, and make sure you hit the notification bell so you know when our videos come out, you know, when we're doing the thing, going live. And also make sure you're following us on all the platforms, the TikTok, the Twitter, the Facebook, and the IG. And yeah, y'all, we will catch you next week, and I will have my co-host back here to go into the foolishness that is the love after the lockup. I appreciate y'all being here. Y'all have a safe and wonderful Labor Day weekend. Bye-bye.